Ding, ding, we're live. Boom. How do you do?
Did I kill the sound? Yeah, I did. Good.
I can hear you.
Thank God.
I have no idea who you are, but I can hear you, whoever you are.
Good evening. I guess we're on. Hello, guys.
Yes, we are on. We are rocking.
There are a lot of new features on YouTube right now.
Yes, the anonymity feature I'm actually quite impressed with.
This is the.
See that you've got it switched on.
Oh damn! Look, it just broke. Look at that.
See, bloody Google.
Well, the glasses are keeping it on, actually.
There you go, that works. It's Google's anonymity protection. It doesn't work. See.
How many minutes behind is the thing?
It just started, so it's about, what, 20 seconds?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're rocking, we're live. The people are watching. We've got a good crowd. We've got the regulars. We've got Razo Gul Contensai. We've got my Argonauts, Jason.
Jason,
yeah. Shane and stuff. We got the gang. So it's all
Shane
good.
is leaving soon.
All right.
In a month or two.
Yeah. Well.
We'll have to have him on the show before he leaves.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Also,
he can teach us. He's very good at teaching us, teaching people how to be a housewife in Japan. Got a good series.
Yeah. So, tonight we're going to have a shortish one, I guess, because we're both kind of swamped at the moment. However, we're going to try to have an action-packed 30 minutes, and there's been a lot of drama-ish stuff going on lately, right? I've been watching from a safe distance behind a crash barrier. What's been going? All the drama around. What's that name's guy? What's that guy's name? The pervert, the Gaijin pervert.
Oh, Julian Shooting Blanks.
Julian Shooting Blanks. That's
his name is Julian. His middle name is Shooting, and his last name is Blanks. No, Julian Blanks is his official name, and right now the big debate is whether it's really his real name or his stage name.
I would assume it's not a real name, but who knows? Who knows? I think he's probably. So I haven't really looked. I've seen the video of this guy giving the pep talk for how great it is molesting girls in Japan, but like.
Not just Japan. Don't. He's not like a yellow cap kind of guy. He's a free. He's open-minded. He wants to molest women all over the world.
Well, he's basically like the Pokemon catcher guy, right? Like he just trying to catch them all. But the video which got circulated is the one where he's talking, obviously in the middle of a broader seminar for people who want to know how to pick up women about how great Japan is, right? And it's that Japan discussion that's drawing the negative attention.
Right.
But I assume you've looked into him a little bit more closely than I have.
Well, so according to his followers, not closely enough because he's just God. And he's a great guy, and he's got so many good things to offer.
Well, if he's God, he doesn't have to worry about anything that's happening. But what is the story like? So that video is like from an infomercial about how to pick women anywhere. What is the story with what is the greater context of that video, and who is this guy, and
I did see the original. You're right. It's part of an infomercial or on YouTube, so to speak. It's just showing clips from his seminar.
So he sells a seminar on how to pick up women.
Right. Now I did check out his
cost. Not that I would be interested in purchasing, but if I were to recommend it to a friend, how much would such a?
I think there's 3 different things on his website. It's called pimp.com or something like that. I don't remember. Pimp Daddy, some weird thing like that.
Yeah.
But it's I think $197 for the basic whatever.
Dollars or lira?
And I think you get, I don't know what you get for that. Maybe they send you some files or video files or something. And then, it's just like, a lot of people do that work 4 hours a week, kind of get rich off the internet kind of thing.
I don't mean to be critical, but for $197, they might as well just order an actual woman.
Well, I don't know. That's the lowest level. That's like I think that's just internet stuff. And of course, I don't know for sure, but the three things they're offering on that page are, I think one's $197, one's maybe $397. The other one I think is $497, something like that. Wow. But that gives you access to his private Facebook. That's the only difference I could see really. But you get all these. I don't know what you get for that. But it's really long. It's this really long page. But most of it is aimed at how to get women and screw them. So.
Yeah, and not that I'm interested, but how would one get women? And
well, apparently you have to some of the I just skimmed through it, but some of the headers are like how to get women even when you're boring.
And not that I'm interested in ordering this product, of course. But okay, so point taken. This guy's helped a lot of lonely guys out there. A lot of Steve Martins from credit card slogan companies, from greeting card companies. Have you ever seen that? The jerk.
Yes, of course.
I love that movie. But anyway, it's a lot of guys like that. He's basically.
But he also got a movie called The Lonely Guy.
That's the Lonely Guy. That's right. I'm sorry. That's the one I was probably thinking of. But right. Yes. So he's got fans, and I guess this is another clever thing.
He's got fans. He's got fans.
You know, you make them invest in becoming your fan, don't you? You can't really say the guy's a jerk when you've paid.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the thing, and apparently some of the seminars cost up to $3,000, according to articles I saw in other places. But yeah, if you invest $3,000, you're gonna look pretty stupid if you're not defending your guy, right? Like, yeah, it's kind of terrible, but no, you got to defend him. Of course, you're invested. You've already spent all that money. So.
Well, it explains Scientology anyway.
Yeah, it's really hard to let go of that when you spend so much money, you know.
So here's my thing. I'm going to come out and challenge the broader consensus. Everyone's coming out and has basically come out that this guy is Hitler. He has lost the internet, and he has to be stopped by all means possible. And you know, there is the pitchforks and torches being rallied around this video, which is that's fair enough. But you know, here's the thing. I look at that, and even when I look at the unacceptable behavior at the end of it, and I see a guy who's really, unfortunately, I hate to say this, he's not that different to a lot of jerk guys like me, who look like me, who come to Japan and act like that. And what kills me is that, yeah, they get away with it a lot of the time, don't they?
No, they do.
So in some ways, yeah, right on, go get him. But at the same time, well, why this guy? You know, I don't know.
No, actually, I've got no problem with him coming to Japan and or any guys who want to be assholes. Like I said in my video, my first video, you know, if you're an asshole, there's no law against being an asshole. But there is a line, I think, and I think pulling girls' heads onto your crotch, you know, and encouraging other people to do that. There is a line, and like I said in my video, you can have a lot of great advice and you can do a lot of great things, but as soon as you cross that line, you know, I'm sorry, but your reputation's done, and you're gonna suffer for that.
Well, I mean, obviously he's not bloody running for Congress, is he?
No.
But yeah, so okay.
See, that would be a more powerful tool if you could convince people to vote for you. I mean, getting one girl to sleep with him. But the other thing that's funny about this thing is, I mean, he's teaching men how to trick women into sleeping with them. And how valuable, I mean, how valuable is that relationship to you? Oh, I tricked another girl into sleeping with me. I'm boring and I have no personality because I never got around to developing one. No.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, granted, although again, the behavior on the video, not good. And
like I'm saying, it's that line. This is the only thing I got problems with. The rest of it, I don't care. If he wants to help people, guys, meet girls, that's fine. But there is a line, I think.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I always get a little bit put off by the self-righteous mobs. You know.
No, me too. I withheld, but I was getting a lot of emails about this, and apparently not just me, but a lot of people. But you know, like I said, you know,
So Bobby Judo makes an interesting comment that the guy assaults women and promotes rape culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yes, he does. Yeah.
It's hard to, you know. I want to be fair and say, look, he helps a lot of people with their self-confidence and stuff, but there is a line. If your self-confidence is built on the degradation of women, you know, I'm sorry. I'd rather you just be a little loser for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And sit home in your house and masturbate or whatever, and there's pornography for that.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm in two minds. The thing is, I've met so many guys like that guy who even behave like that guy, and what kills me.
Well, yeah, I've met people like that in real life too. Yeah.
I mean, they exist here. You know, there are people who come to Japan for that, and the thing is, they get away with it. You know what I mean? I mean, in fact, they not only get away with it, some get away with it really well, and I could never be like that, and no one should be like that. But that's what kills me about it, you know. So I don't know. I mean, of course, so I understand that there are some people who rush to his defense, right?
Oh yeah. Because he helps you, he gives you self-confidence, and he's helped a lot of people. But like I said, all of that is negated when you grab a woman's head and throw it on your crotch. As soon as you do that, I don't care what you've done. Like Scott said in his video, you could be a fireman. You saved all these people, but there's a fireman in Japan actually. He's a fireman, right? He's a hero, right? Took out his penis in a subway and is arrested by a policewoman here in Japan. That's it. His reputation's done. No one's gonna say he was a great fireman. They're gonna say that's the guy who took his penis out in the subway.
Yeah.
And that's the way life works.
Maybe he didn't have a fire hose handy. I don't know, but
well, he took out his fire hose on the subway. This is pretty hot, actually. But yeah, that's what happens. I mean, you can be a nice guy, you can help a lot of people with self-confidence and stuff, but once you cross that line, then it's all negated. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. And and the thing is, while I know, and it's depressing that I've met people, and when I say people like this, I mean people who go out to Roppongi, they're in bars, everyone's acting stupid, they act super stupid, and frankly cross the line for me. But the thing is, just when you're about to walk up and say, "Hey, buddy," the girls are okay. Not only they're okay, but they're leaving with the guy. So
you're completely right in that some girls are completely okay with foreigners acting that way, because part of it is that they don't know what to expect from us, and they might think that that's typical. Oh, that's what they do, I guess. Foreigners take out their penises in bars and things like that.
Yeah. And I hesitate to even say that out loud because I don't want to encourage more of those types to come. But at the same time,
we got this guy Darth, and I know I've met Darth. He's a nice guy. I've met him in real life. He's in the comments saying that he's not really promoting rape culture. He's not promoting rape. But here's the thing: when you're telling people that is okay, when you're crossing the line, you don't know how they're gonna interpret that.
Yeah. No, and so anyway, I mean, the guy is a creep, and the self-righteous mob is fine. I'm gonna step back from it, but it is interesting to see what's going on with it, and I guess this is it. I'm frankly just more depressed by it than anything else, just because I really wish this was so unique and outrageous that I could get angry about it as well. But no question, of course, if it's ever forced or against the other person's will or whatever. I mean, well, yeah, but this is the thing. This is one of the things that in this world I have trouble understanding sometimes. Is that you see a guy do something and you're ready to stand up and do something about it, and it's like you had. This is a little bit like the case where you switched on the camera and went and beat up the guy who was kicking that girl.
Yeah, he was kicking his girlfriend. And what did she do?
She attacked you. She attacked you.
She attacked me.
Oh, yeah. So
So I'll tell you another story in a bar. I used to own a couple of bars, right?
I know I used to own a bar. Yes, Victor used to walk into a bar.
So I'm in my bar, and actually I wasn't even working that night. I was just there as a guest, although I was one of the owners. So one of our regulars takes out his penis in the bar. Okay.
Was the penis regular or was the customer?
I didn't get a good look, but but what happens is women start taking selfies with it.
Well, I guess so. So it was a regular then. Oh, this was just a one-off.
Well, he was a regular, and he knew some of the girls, but he didn't know some of the girls either. Some of the girls were new.
Yeah.
And they started taking selfies with it. So yeah, you're right. I mean, we want to be self-righteous. We want to say that's bad. And actually, I kicked him out of the bar. I said, you can't do that. You're not welcome here anymore.
Yeah.
And he ended up throwing a beer. He grabbed a beer and he threw it over my head. He said, if my penis isn't welcome, this is really what he said. If my penis, and we've already mentioned genitalia, as we always do in all these 2.5 Oyajis. If my penis is not welcome, then I'm not welcome. And he threw his big, what do you call it, mug of beer? There's a glass jockey, the jockey. What are those called, mugs?
Yeah, what do they call them, jugs or mugs? Or
jugs, the big glass.
English.
The big thing, and it was pretty funny because I mean, just if my penis isn't welcome here, then I'm not welcome when he walked out. But I was like, great, he's never going to come back. So, and he never came back. He was banned for a couple. Yeah, well, he was banned for years, and then I sold my interest in the bar, and I think he ended up being allowed back. But the thing that my point is, it's really none of our business sometimes, because sometimes the girls don't care, and then some of those girls that he was pulling it looked like he was forcing them on there, although it looks like it's assault from my eyes. Only truly the girls can say whether it is or not. So.
Well, technically speaking, assault is there's a state of mind element. Is he intending to assault? Although at the same time there's also public behavior norms. But there is a thing. I mean, the guy is clearly. I think there is arguably an intent there. The fact that he is physically, intentionally grabbing people and just doing, you know.
And it doesn't look like they want to do it, but at the end, it looks like maybe some of them are okay with it.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you absolutely did the right thing throwing that guy out. You know, there are just some things that you can and you can't do in public, and that's a good example. So yeah, I agree. So in other stuff, another drama that's been going on, we should talk about the racist travel agents, perhaps, for a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I didn't know about some of that. You know quite a bit more about it. Is it JHIS or J?
Oh, I don't know the companies. Well, sorry, I'm talking about the video that we thought we were recording, but it turned out we didn't record the other night.
Right. So
I don't know anything more about it than what we talked about, but I thought it was another interesting example of, I mean, what can you do? It's like being, you know, the only two gay Eskimos or something like that, having the two, you know, white guys and the two white Japanese guys, and they disagree with each other on something.
Wait a minute, there are gay Eskimos?
Well, there's a song says that there's only one, but imagine if there were two and they didn't like each other. That
would suck.
Yeah, that would be pretty awful. And that's pretty much the situation of being a white Japanese citizen. So, you know, you have...
Oh, yes. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that they're gay Eskimos. I'm just saying that they're rare, and, you know, if they're rare, you'd hope they'd at least get along, but they don't. For fundamental philosophical reasons, and it's interesting this because I like Edo, and I don't really personally like Debito very much.
Me too.
But there are certain things that I can. That doesn't mean I necessarily.
I think you have to explain some of this. I don't think most people understand what you're talking about. I think maybe Bobby Judo does, but most people I don't think.
I'm queuing it up, but okay. So here it is. So it turned out that somebody somewhere, you know, on the internet, one of the outraged white anonymous masses discovered that there were online shops. Indeed, the anonymous masses discovered that there were online travel agencies that included in their shop information gaikokujin o kotoari or something like that. Basically, we refuse service to foreigners. Actually written on their homepages.
I think they're hotels, not necessarily travel agents.
Oh, hotels, was it? Okay, I was travel related.
Ryokan, maybe.
Yeah, and actually that makes sense, doesn't it? You know, you imagine an old-fashioned mum and pub, you know, ryokan up in the mountains, and they wouldn't know how to explain anything to a foreigner, so they just put on the sign, on the web page, which happened to be on a, maybe better not to say the name of the site, but one of the big shopping sites in Japan. These were all put up by the places themselves. We refuse service to foreigners, and somebody kind of got a whiff of that and started searching for them. And discovered that there were a number of these places that had this thing. You know, we refuse. You know, we're a hotel. Come and see our lovely resort. We refuse service to foreigners. Written on the top. This is, of course, questionably. Well, the legality of it is questionable. Obviously, it's not very desirable. And so you have immediately two reactions to this. You have the outrage, name and shame, and, you know, teach them a good lesson. Boycott them, name them, shame them, and yeah.
We want legal action. We want police involved.
Or at least get an angry mob. I mean, it's a bit like the pervert, you know, rapist, for example. Angry mob, pitchforks, torches. I mean, that's nothing. There's no party like an internet party with pictures and you know, pitchforks and torches. But then you have the other idea which says, you know, maybe someone needs to go out there and talk to them and explain and set things straight and make it better. And so Debito's from the, and personally, this is where I diverge. I respect Edo's approach is to go and help them out and tell them that, you know, there's a better way. You know, if your issue is the language, say that we don't speak Japanese language, say that we don't speak English or whatever, have signs ready or certain language ready that isn't racially discriminatory, but is simply explaining the language issue, and don't put up a phrase which could be taken as racist. And so basically, you had two people. I think it was the Debito forums were getting ready to basically launch internet rage war on these hotels, and Edo kind of got in there just ahead of beat them to the punch, and helped them to change all of the sites. It's amazing. He actually got all of the sites changed.
Within I think less than 20 hours, he was able to do what they could not.
In 20 hours. And yeah, and he basically gave them all guidelines that, look, you can't say no foreigners, but you can say that you can't speak English or foreign, you know, that you need to be able to speak Japanese to come in, and all the sites got fixed. And this triggered a follow-up debate, I believe, between the people who said, well, you just helped the racist people get away with racism, who were indignant that Edo might have jumped in and say, and actually and preempted their outlet of rage. But at the same time, Edo very positively and constructively improved the situation. He took positive action and he fixed it. And it's easy to kind of be angry and raging on the internet. It's actually much harder to go and actually make a practical change.
And get something done, right?
And I respect that about Edo. But frankly, if you ask me personally, what I would do in that situation, I would be in the rage mob. And that's where we had an interesting discussion, all of which was not recorded.
Unfortunately. It's still showing up in my feed as existing, but I can't. When I click on it, there's nothing there.
So what's your take on that, Victor? Rage or rage?
Well, I respect what Edo did, and I think if actually I'm amazed at how quickly. Just to make sure everyone understands, okay? A bunch of hotels were caught with signs up on a homepage saying that they would not accept foreigners. Gaikokujin no kotoari desu. And this angry mob of Debito supporters, and Debito, I assume he was involved too, wanted everyone punished, shamed. They wanted to blacklist them and get legal action involved, whatever. And this one guy, Edo, who's also a naturalized Japanese citizen,
just like
a gay Eskimo.
The gay Eskimo.
I think Rachel would call them unicorns, but no, this is even rarer, because unicorns, there are a dime a dozen in Japan.
Yeah, everywhere.
A gay Mexican, no.
A gay Mexican.
a gay Eskimo.
I don't know what you're saying about Mexico.
There are quite a few gay Mexicans, believe me. I've met quite a few. But these two guys who are both naturalized Westerners, they're Japanese citizens, have very different approaches to this kind of debatably racist behavior, putting up signs like that. Of course, Debito's group thinks they just hate Westerners, and Edo's group thinks that it's just a misunderstanding. That no, it's not that they hate Westerners; it's that they don't speak English, and that's why they say no Japanese. And the expression itself, no Japanese, in English could be interpreted as we don't speak Japanese. Of course, to be fair, though I doubt it. I doubt that's really what they mean.
Yeah, and here's the thing as well. So Edo's of the view, think the best, presume the best of people, presume that there's no ill intent and that this is a big misunderstanding. And the rage mob presumes that these people are evil, and this is where the philosophical divergence happens. But there again, and this is where we had an interesting discussion. I'm of the view, generally, when that sort of thing happens, I don't think the intent is necessarily good. I think it's just ignorant. I think that
laziness.
It's laziness that they just don't want to deal with it, and they don't want to think about it, so they just put a stupid sign up.
Yeah.
And to my mind, they deserve to be kind of punished just for that, actually. I mean, if you want to teach people to think and not do something so stupid, you're still kind of letting them off the hook, helping them out, although credit to him for taking the energy to help them out. But
yeah, well, that's the thing I was amazed at how quickly it was done. And still, but it took effort, but it was done extremely efficiently and quickly.
The gay Eskimo network is pretty powerful. They get stuff done, don't they?
The Gay Eskimo Network, GEN, Gay Eskimo Network. Yeah. Okay.
There we go. That's right. Don't underestimate. Don't mess with the Eskimos.
So the question is that the best way to go? I would say yes, because it got the job done.
And that I can respect that it got the job done, and I can certainly respect the positive frame of mind and constructive attitude that he took to the problem, even though it's not one that I'd necessarily share in the same circumstances myself. I get pissed off if I see that.
Let's adopt those two what do we call them? Techniques, I suppose.
Techniques. It sounds like we're going back to the first thing now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say you wanted to actually affect change with Julian and the RSD movement. What we're doing is actually raging. We're doing the Debito thing. We're raging against them. We're trying to shame them, right?
I've got it. You go up to the racists and you grab their head and you push it into your crotch. Is that right? No, that's probably wrong. That is crossing a line, so that's not forgivable, is it?
Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe a better way would be say, hey guys, I like your stuff, but I think you crossed the line, and I think you're only going to hurt yourselves by doing stuff like that, which is kind of what I tried to do, but at the same time I was pretty disgusted by that. I mean, it was hard to, and I'm really childish, so I named my video Julian Shooting Blanks, because
Well,
funny.
why not? Why not? It's a metaphor. It's a pun. It's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
So lots of other drama, regional drama. There are, of course, the Pirates of the Caribbean are in the Izu Islands at the moment. You hear about that?
No, Pirates in the Caribbean. Where?
Well, they're kind of like pirates. They're coral
The
fishermen.
red coral. That's Amagasa Shoto, right?
Amagasa Shoto, yeah, something like that. They're Amagasaki Shoto or something like that. But the Izu Islands, they're like 3,000 km south of Tokyo.
Okay, right.
Technically, they're part of Tokyo.
I'm sorry, Ogasawara Shoto.
Ogasawara, yeah.
Ogasawara Shoto, yeah. Yes, so apparently it's like for 1 gram, it's like $1,000. Is that possible?
I don't know, but if it's true,
the red coral is incredibly expensive.
In China, where it is protected. It's a protected thing. You're not allowed to actually gather red coral in China, so that's why all these Chinese
really?
Get
well,
in
that
there.
seems hypocritical.
Yeah, so there are 225 ships suddenly illegally just dredging and
it's been building the last few weeks. It started with like 10, then 20, then 50, then 125. Now it's 200. I didn't know it got that far.
Yesterday it got up to 200, and you know the Japanese and the Coast Guard down there's got like 1 ship and 2 helicopters, so they can't really do very much about it. And obviously the fishermen know that. It was interesting. The Chinese Foreign Ministry. I kind of one of the small highlights. The reasons I watch NHK News. One of the it's a bit like when you watch a good comedy series and they have the same little kind of repeating gags, the same kind of skits, the same characters come up. I like Takepon, the reader of the NHK 7 o'clock news. He's got little things that he does over and over. And one of the regular entertaining features of the 7 o'clock NHK news is the Chinese Foreign Ministry comments of outrage at something that Japan just did. And they seem to pull out different people for different messages. There's angry, uptight woman. There's baritone voice, constipation man, and occasionally they pull out friendly wheelie clown, but he doesn't come out very often. I think they keep him in the closet.
They sometimes ask foreigners too what they think, right?
China? Oh, you mean
I'm sorry, it's in China or
So I'm talking about the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokespeople.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I thought you were talking about street interviews or something. Okay.
Oh no. So they have these Chinese. It's always in China, and they always whenever something happens with Chinese relations or whatever, they always have a stern warning against Japan Foreign Ministry spokesperson, who in a very clear baritone constipated voice, we really want Japan to stop doing that, whatever. It's always kind of outrage. It's really interesting. They wheeled the lady out this time, and she said, we absolutely enforce Japan enforcing its own laws, although we hope they do so politely and with respect to the rights of the people who they are enforcing it against. It was just very cool. Well, which means basically do as I say, not as I do.
Do this.
Honestly, it's kind of funny. All the Nichan comments in Japanese were saying, it's funny, China demands polite treatment and respect for rights when it's their own people abroad, but that's not how they would treat their own people if they got caught doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah. What would happen to them?
Well,
I wonder. Probably
be sent off to labor and re-education. Which
people don't trust other countries to treat you well. Well, when Marine, I hate to bring this up, but I will. When Marines misbehave in Okinawa, the Okinawan people want to try them themselves. They don't want the U.S. government.
Well, the status of forces agreement basically lets a lot of them get away literally with that stuff. I mean, the stuff that guy does in that video is nothing compared to what Marines get away with on a big night in Naha. And are not accountable to the police for. The police will. I mean, actually, there have been murder cases and child rape cases that even then, when they took him into military police custody and the local police asked him to hand them over, and they didn't do it. I think there was a murder case about 10 years ago, and the American government agreed to hand the guy over because it was like a murder or something like that. And even that was like a Secretary of State, Foreign Minister negotiation. And indeed, that status of forces treaty so far, it is actually much worse in Korea than it is in Japan, but it still is very one-sided. That's one.
Well, they have more military there too, right? In populated areas.
It's about it might be about the same. I mean, Okinawa is pretty heavily populated, and they've got a massive presence there still of U.S. troops. But
But the U.S. has handed over on a few occasions. They have handed over.
Very, very limited occasions, yeah.
Yeah. One of them was like, I don't remember, it was three guys who raped a 14-year-old girl. They went into.
Well, there's a famous one, I think, going back to the 90s.
They handed them over, but it turns out that their punishments were only 6 years. And if they had been handed over to the American military, they predicted would have been 20 or 24 years. So they actually got off pretty light. It was actually lucky, and they could speak fluent Japanese when they got out.
Yeah, you know, I mean, in the U.S. military, it's kind of its own worst enemy with that sort of thing. I remember with that incident, the base commander, you know, whatever base they came from, or the commander of forces on Okinawa later said in a public interview, you know, geez, those guys, you know, they should have just gone and paid a prostitute.
I know.
Oh man, like, oh geez, don't say that.
But years later, the mayor of Osaka did the same thing.
Well, he does. In fact, he's an advocate of prostitutes' rights. Yeah. And it's funny because there was a just 2 weeks ago, something came up at a weekly saying that he had used public funds to go and use prostitutes, and he came back and he said, "I did not use public funds."
They were private funds.
Yeah, you have to respect.
And I tipped well.
Well, he said it's legal. It's legal. It's legal, and
right.
And you know, why should we discriminate? Why should we advocate discrimination against prostitutes? And it's actually it's kind of a fair point. I mean, you know,
yeah, it's a fair point.
Have a parade, but you know, it's one of those things. You know, you'd only really get the guy if he was like ashamed of it. Right. But if it's legal, he's not ashamed. It doesn't really.
Well, that's the thing about this Julian guy. I don't think people are going to be. I don't think he's ashamed. So I think in the end, he's not going to care, but he's going to care about the money. So.
Well, but this is also why I'm pretty sure he's not using his real name, because at the end of the day, of course, he's never going to show shame over this whole thing, but he would probably feel shame if it got to like his mum. I'm pretty sure that's the gig with that sort of thing. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure Anonymous is going, you know, Nichan and 4chan are doing overtime trying to figure that one out, but
well, people are saying it's his real name, but I've been told that by other people that it's not. So who knows?
You know, I don't really care. Yeah. I mean, jeez. But there is this thing. Some people commented here. They talked about punching in the throat, which is also not cool, by the way. But there are people here saying things like that. But and yeah, it's true. What they're saying is guys like that ruin it for all of us, right? You know, people start to develop negative stereotypes of misbehaving Gaijin, and you know, I've met them and I know them. I know guys who you know, toss their rubbish off the 10th floor balcony into the street.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard of guys who, you know, had a party and they threw all their rubbish outside, and it was so funny watching them all go bad. And you know what? That building is never going to lease an apartment to a foreigner again after that.
I knew there was a party. These foreigners had a party and threw a chair out the window into a BMW's front glass window. You know. Yeah,
and you know, for that sort of stuff, and this is the problem. You know, we are coexisting between long-term residents trying to have a quiet, hard-working life like us, and you know,
we just want to be slaves. We just want to be cogs in the system. Leave us alone. Let us be cogs.
I want to be a brick in the wall. That's what I want to be. But bloody spring break.
Let me just pay my taxes.
But the thing is, we coexist with these party around the world. I'm overseas, so I don't give a shit. I'm gonna, you know, teach these guys how to party. Foreigners who come at the same time and they look like us. You know, there's no way that we can tattoo their faces or do something to make everyone realize that, oh, that's one of those guys, not one of these guys. But and you know, it kills me. But at the same time, oh yeah, you can shame them, but this is the thing, you know, it still isn't any justification. It isn't a justification for racism, but, you know, for racism back against us later. But, you know, we try so hard, little victory by little victory, to win over all these people and show that we're normal and hardworking. And then Joe Scumbag comes along, and, you know, like in your case, the guy who threw the glass across a bar. Yeah. I'm not saying the Japanese don't do that, but I bet if we're taking percentages. I would say that if we took all the you know, chokis that got thrown across bars through the air last week in all of Japan, I'm pretty sure that the foreigners would be disproportionately overrepresented in that, based on my personal experience. And you know, what is it with foreigners not being able to manage their alcohol to begin with? And there's a whole thing. I'm here. Nobody knows me. I'm free of all shame and responsibility because, you know,
Well, yeah, it's Disneyland. A lot of them consider it Disney World over here. It's not the real world. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
They're rock stars. You know, girls pay attention to them, and they've never. It isn't that they just pay attention to them. I mean, it's that they've never had women pay attention to them in the past. So they don't know how to handle it. Oh my God, I'm finally getting some attention.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and you know, geez, you don't even have to be good looking or anything, and you can
look at us.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, exactly. And you look at some of his fans. So I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of it's more a commentary on the sad state of humanity. But that said, I mean, if he ever did any of that and it's not welcome, go straight to the Korban or drag the guy straight to the Korban. I mean, it is assault if it's not if it's not an invited or welcome or coordinated agreed thing. So.
Yeah, but what happens in those cases? I know of one case where one foreigner dragged another foreigner to the Korban, and the police said, "Well, you're both free to press charges." So they both had to choose. You know, it's. Do I really want to go through all that, the hassle of that? I mean.
I gotta admit, so I don't want to get away from that conversation anyway, but that reminds me of a story. I was walking home one day in snow. We don't get snowfalls very often, once or twice a year maximum in Tokyo. But we had a big snowfall, and I was walking home from the station, and about 10 centimeters of snow, walking down a hill. And I was halfway walking down the hill, kind of just trying to get through, and all of a sudden, I get kind of smashed from behind. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what. I was like, what the hell's going on? It felt like a car or something had run into me, and I kind of turned around. I mean, I got knocked almost off my feet. I got my belt.
Was he Canadian? Was he Canadian?
No, it was a Japanese guy. It was a Japanese guy, but on a bicycle, careening down a snow-covered hill with obviously no brakes or anything like working whatever because of the snow. And his glasses were completely fogged over, so he was clearly blind. And he ran into me. And he ran into me full speed. From behind, going down a hill, and so he hit me from behind, and I turned around, and Jesus, and he kind of got off the bike. He's kind of, oh, sorry, and he got off his bike, and I said, oh, geez, be careful, watch where you're going. I kind of picked myself up, and I started walking down the hill, and he kind of got on his bike, but he was kind of riding beside me, staring at me. Mm-hmm. And I'm already kind of pissed off with this guy. I mean, just basically kind of been punched at random in public.
Right.
I've been hit by this guy on a bicycle. And he's looking at me, and well, what's wrong with this guy? And so I turned around to him, and I was so angry anyway. I needed to vent at him. I needed to say something to him. So I said, look, if you're going to ride like that, go and ride on the road. Don't ride on the footpath like that. Mm-hmm. And he turned around and he started saying to me, where do you live? And that's a strange question. I live here. This is my town. Don't. So you get on the road. He said, where do you live? And I started to realize he was asking the question over, and he was starting to. He was staying beside me. So it was how Japanese, they like to, when they want to intimidate people, sometimes they kind of follow them. Uh-huh. They like to go to see where you live at your home and go to your home.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a trick that some Japanese use. Some dodgy, bad Japanese will use to intimidate people.
Yeah.
And when he started doing that, I got so enraged by it because I realized what he was doing. He was trying to intimidate me into, I mean, for what? He'd already just freaking hit me with a bicycle.
Right. Gyakugire.
Yeah, but I did Gyakugire. But then he's Gyakugire back at me. And he's kind of doing these kind of Yakuza tactics back at me. Oh, what the hell? And I seriously, just at that moment, I thought of 2 or 3 things. I thought, pick him up and shove him over the barrier. There was a barrier to a park, and I was ready to put my hands on him at that point because what are you doing? To go away. But 100 yards down the hill, there was a little Korban.
Oh, okay.
It didn't occur to me, but look, if you're going to keep asking me who I am, we can both go and tell the cops, and I'm going to file a complaint against you. And again, I kind of, looking back, how you always look back at those episodes and think, that's what I should have done.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't do it, but I thought of that later, and it kind of bugged me. I didn't actually do it. I was kind of tempted, like, dude, you're not going to intimidate me. We're going to go straight to the Korban, and you can tell it to him. But in the end, we didn't. I just kept saying, I live here. I just said, go away, and I deliberately changed my direction home.
Right, of course, yeah.
But yeah, it would have been interesting. I always wonder what would have happened if I'd put hands on the guy, because I was close to doing that. And it was beside a park, so I could have thrown him over the barrier and he would have rolled down a hill. Right. I was tempted to do it. And they were all grabbing him or not grabbing him and taking him into a Korban, because the other thing that you hear about when you go into a Korban, when a foreigner goes into a Korban, is that the police, sometimes the Japanese guy goes to say, "This foreigner assaulted me," and sometimes the cops turn on the foreigner. Even the foreigner tries to. And this is the thing: a lot of foreigners try to effect citizens' arrests. It's kind of a quasi-drunk foreign thing to do.
Well, I used to teach the police, and they told me that you can do that, but I've never tried that for the same reason. I fear the same thing will happen to me.
Public service announcement. And this is, I hate this. I feel horrible saying this. But I've said this many times before, just don't get involved with the cops here unless you absolutely have to. And this is the thing, the typical situation. You imagine if you see a Chikan on a train, right? And you catch
what?
Him. A Chikan.
Oh, I thought you said Chicano, Mexican.
A Chicano. Well, if you see a Mexican or a pervert on a train.
Right.
There's that old Gaijin thing of, punch him in the face, grab him, take him onto the platform, hold him down, and call for the cops. Probably, however, the first thing that would happen in that situation is that you would be taken into custody.
Yes, they'll take you aside and say, okay.
And the presumption of all wrongdoing will be on you. Whether you be Japanese, because that's not something Japanese typically do, but certainly if you're a foreigner and the police show up and you're physically holding down a Japanese guy, don't expect an objective assessment of that situation, even if it's deserved and justified and even legally permitted. This is the thing, it makes it really hard in those. So you see pervert guy in Roppongi, do you grab him and take him to the koban? You take him to the koban, the police would probably be, and the police don't want to do anything half the time anyway, and they'll use excuses like that, like you guys can charge each other, we'll arrest you both.
Right. We'll charge you both. Okay, you want to do that? We can do that. Because they know you don't want to do that.
But you think about that, that's the police victimizing the victim who's brave enough to go and make the complaint. So it's bad behavior, but this is the thing. I guess that was the risk of the sort of situation. I mean, I am absolutely confident in that sort of a situation. I could win over the police officer. But do you want to?
You'd rather not face that situation. Get yourself in that situation in the first place.
That's the thing. That's the whole thing. It's the Fight Club thing, right? About the provoke somebody else into a fight. 90% of the population would do anything to avoid ever getting into a physical confrontation. I'm one of the 90%. So yeah, I must admit, it's kind of, you always wish you'd done that cool thing, and I didn't. But I always wonder what would have happened if I'd done that.
Yeah. Even being a witness to a crime, I've been a witness to a crime a couple of times, and that takes up so much time that you just never want to. You just want to close it and go. I didn't see anything. I saw two Iranians fighting in the street with baseball bats, and blood was gushing, and I actually captured it on my cell phone.
That's pretty good evidence.
And no, I took it to the cops, and they copied it off the cell phone, and they wanted me to come back and give a statement, and it took like hours. And then they're telling me the whole time, I don't think we're ever going to catch him because, well, we got one of them, but he doesn't want to file any charges against the other guy. So it's like a waste of time.
I think in some parts of Iran that's a type of greeting. They actually just walk up with it and hit each other.
Can you tell the baseball bats?
It's the Northeast, I believe. Honestly, the Private Schultz defense, I think, is the best way to always go in those situations.
I know nothing. I know nothing. I see nothing.
And it's sad. It's sad, isn't it? That that's what you end up with.
Well, I mean, we're joking about it, but I'm sure there's some people watching this thinking that's really horrible.
But at the same time, it isn't a vigilante culture, so you would assume that the bad guys run around and get away with anything. And to some extent, there are Yakuza, and there are people who do actually run around and get away with almost anything, including these scumbag Gaijins and including scary people who make a living off intimidating people and relying on them being too cowardly to take action, partly because the police make it so difficult. But for all of that taken, for all of the scumbags in the society that do get more of a free hand here, the society as a whole, on average, you run into fewer scumbags in your day-to-day life, depending on what you do or where you are.
Oh, definitely.
So I don't know. Maybe the system works somehow in spite of that. It doesn't make instinctive sense to me, but maybe the fewer vigilantes contributes to a more of a law-abiding society. I don't know.
Well, definitely the low crime rate is something. I mean, that's just a minute. What's his name? Loco in Yokohama.
Yeah.
He said that he doesn't have to worry about his kids getting shot here.
You'd be pretty unlucky. Yeah, it would be.
But back in this, I mean, I don't know about New Zealand. Do you have? I don't imagine you have much of that kind of crime.
It's rare. It happens, but it's not common.
But in the States, you know, yeah, people get carjacked, people get shot, people get stabbed all the time.
Randomly, unintentionally getting shot is pretty rare in New Zealand. You know,
they're pretty good shots, I guess.
Well, yeah, they generally use rifles or shotguns or big guns. You know, they shoot where they're pointed. So I've heard of cases from Japanese people who lived in Los Angeles for a couple of years, and they talk about they were driving through like a Walmart car park late at night, and they're coming through a car park, and it's funny. They heard what they thought was like a stone bump up and hit the car. They didn't think anything of it, and when they got home, they actually found that a bullet had come through like the rear panel of the car and through the seat of the car, and it actually gone into him. Somehow he hadn't felt it, but he actually had a bullet in him. He'd been shot in the back through the car.
Wow.
It hadn't made much of a noise, and it hadn't even done much damage, but he had to take himself to hospital to get the bullet removed. And he didn't even know how he got shot.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, but that sort of thing doesn't happen in New Zealand very often.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know, you talk about so no, you don't have to worry about that particular type of thing happening very often, and certainly in a place like Japan.
Yeah, lucky. Well, yeah, there's good and bad in every country, I'm sure. I guess not being able to deal with the police directly is a negative here, but definitely not getting shot is a positive.
Not getting shot is one of the better things.
One of the better things.
More Gaijins come. Well, I don't know, but you know what? There are more Gaijins scumbags. It's just that they have more of a free reign here, I guess.
Mm.
I don't know how to rationalize that. They do stand out more, and they which is annoying. But
I think those people exist everywhere, though. You know, there's just fewer of them, and they probably kick each other's asses in other countries like Mississippi.
We have to give thanks to the weeaboos. We have to do that. We have to give a shout out and thanks to the anime and manga lovers who have flooded Japan in recent years.
Because they're not violent?
No, because when I came to Japan, 90% of the guys coming were that guy, right? I mean, that was pretty much it. In the late 90s, the economy...
Oh, yeah! It was much worse in the old days.
The economy had collapsed. No one was coming for the money anymore. There was, the jobs were kind of crap. There were a few Japanese students and karate students and Buddhist guys, but it was mostly, guys like that guy coming to Japan in my wave.
Yeah, you're right.
Whereas now, and I went out to Shibuya recently, and I went to I got taken out by Tokyo Zeppelin to a bar in Shibuya, which was just full of blue-haired, face-pierced, kind of Seattle, Oregon types.
Right.
Listening to anime music in a bar and jumping up and down. And
really?
The foreigners have changed. And I'm pretty sure they're not behaving like that guy. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a positive development in some respect.
It definitely is. And on that note, what do we got lined up next week?
So next week, I was contacted yesterday. I didn't respond quickly enough, but apparently Jake Edelstein is back in Japan, and he reached out to me and said, "Let's get on the show." So hoping we can get Mr. Edelstein, Mr. Jake, on.
He's also involved, and he's also another one of us who have been posting about the Julian Blank issue. Yeah.
Unrested was getting pretty heavy into that, so you can go and check in with him.
Yeah, Unrested's got a bunch of videos up on that. He's keeping us up to date.
He's discovered the drama button, hasn't he? He's gotten pretty good at that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, but so there's that. There's obviously Ado, who we talked with the other day, and we didn't record a fascinating conversation with him, and there's an option there. But we got to get guests back. And the other thing is now, of course, we can give credit on these videos. Yes.
One last thing before we sign off. There is a Kobe meetup. We had a great meetup here in Nagoya last weekend, the Halloween meet.
Yep.
But there's also a Kobe meetup coming up on the 22nd, November 22nd. So if anyone who wants to go to that, look for it on I think Warmoth Straught Mully's channel, and also Kevin, Busan Kevin.
Yep.
They're hosting that. I'm sure. I think Scott Unrested might be going too. So check that out if you want to come to. People ask me once in a while, when are you going to have the next meetup? Well, there's the next one that I know of. So check that out.
Perverts not welcome. Racists either. Gay Eskimos are. Yes. I don't know if that's expressly put there, but yeah, it's always good. And actually, it's good that there are so many more gatherings now happening outside of just Tokyo all the time.
No Christmas one yet, though.
The Christmas gathering? Well, the thing is, again,
Bonenkais. Everyone's too busy with bonenkais.
Well, it's either bonenkais or going home.
Oh, going home, yeah. You're not going anywhere, right?
I am. I'm going to Australia, but I'll be going on Christmas Eve. I'll be arriving Christmas Day.
Oh, really? I was just asked by students if I'm willing to work on Christmas.
I've done it. I found it pretty depressing in the first few years. It doesn't bother me so much now.
No, I've done it a bunch of times. Yeah.
Now I've got my own family. When I in the early days when I was living alone and that's the day I wanted to call all my relatives or whatever and connect a bit with family, it used to hit me more. Now I'm married and I've got my own son and my wife works just like I do on Christmas Day. I can deal with it a bit better, and I've lived here longer, I guess. But it is nice for me. It's just nice to get down to Australia, get down to the summer in the middle of winter. It can I think particularly in your first 3 years, but even in your first 5 years, I think Christmas is one of those times of years that can kind of bite a little bit for foreigners. I don't know, did you ever get that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I always call my family and stuff, so.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact as well, you think having a girlfriend or something like that might help, but the problem is that Christmas is different. We'll get to this as well when we get closer to Christmas and we'll discuss it, but just the fact that it's a Kentucky Fried Chicken and date night.
Yeah.
I've had girlfriends get angry at me for staying at home and trying to call all my relatives in different countries when I'm supposed to be with them on a date.
You're supposed to take them out. It's their night.
Part of me for actually coming from a country with Christmas, but yes. So that's another reason, I guess, that reinforces the feeling of cultural isolation that can happen for some foreigners.
The only opinion I care about on Christmas nowadays is my wife. Whatever she wants to do is fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah. By the way, is it just me, or is Halloween getting huger every year?
This year, Halloween outsold Christmas. It's more commercialized now in Japan. It's a bigger holiday now. They're making more money for Halloween than Christmas now. They did last year, so.
Yeah, Halloween. You gotta love how Japanese, they just love a party, don't they? Any kind of they don't need much of an excuse. But Halloween has just gotten huge in Japan. I mean, it's got to be getting close to America. It's certainly bigger than anything I saw in New Zealand, which was
huge,
an American thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So next week on my channel.
Yes, on your channel.
We may have an amazing guest. Maybe just us again.
Possibly have an amazing guest.
Yes.
So that's same bat time, same bat channel.
Yes, 10:30 on Wednesday night. My channel. Give me a breakman, right? Give me a breakman.
Breakman.
Yes. Not give me a flake man. Give me a breakman. Well, we'll post it on Twitter. If you're not sure about the Twitter, follow us on Twitter. You'll find out.
Follow us.
Thanks everyone for watching. Not really any big questions. There was one question about that thing behind your head. They want to know if it's a zip drive.
Me or you?
Someone said is that a zip drive behind you? I think those things right next to the record player that you have, where that little doll, the little samurai doll is. What is that thing?
Oh, like a dinosaur. Even back here.
No, on the other side, your other elbow. What is that? Yeah, right. The little the little samurai guy. What's he sitting on?
Domo.
Yeah, what's he sitting on?
This is the CDJ.
CD. Okay. Someone asked if it was a zip drive. I don't know. I haven't seen a zip drive for years. So.
I used to have zip drives, but
me too. I loved them. I thought they were amazing.
100 megabytes of
enormous. I know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Now they're garbage, right?
Pretty much. But I did enjoy the 20 CD installation kit for the zip drive. But no, I brought one of those to Japan. Yeah, it's classic.
Oh.
But yes, we have to go. I've got to go. But,
yes. All right. See you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Peace. See you again.